Sex is something your body was made to enjoy, no matter how big or small or sick or able it is. And the way to feeling sexy isn't by chasing some older version of your body. It's by actually having sexy fun times right now in the body that you have.
Welcome to the Sex After Kids podcast, a place for parents to come and learn together about the sometimes bumpy road back into the saddle of their sex life after adoption, childbirth, or joining a blended family. I am your host, Sophia Ashley, certified sex educator and sex coach, mother and stepmother, and your totally TMI guide to becoming BFFs with your body and initiating easy, connected, and confident, naked, sexy fun times. Here we are, 1 part science of sex, 1 part mindfulness magic, and 1 part straight up real talk to help you find the spark in your relationship and yourself after kids. I'm so glad you're here.
Hey, mamas, papas, fellow parents. Today we are tackling a big one and a personal one for me, intimacy and body image after kids. Whether you are fresh onto postpartum or it's been 2, 5, or even 10 years and you're still dealing with the post-baby body feels, this episode is for you. And it's also for anyone, birthing partner or not, who defaults to I don't feel sexy as a reason to not have sex, okay? Because here's the thing. I hate how much everybody says that. Here's the truth. Here's the thing. But it's so true. If you didn't know already, which you do, your body goes through a massive change, right? Not just after birth, but for years after. And I think the science now is that it takes at least 2 years for a birthing partner person or a vagina owner's body to fully recover after having kids. And that's if they didn't have another kid. So it'd be like 2 years after the last one. Whether that's hormones, healing, stretch marks, sags, softness, scars, fat that just sits in different places. I think that was the biggest one for me, is it's just like my body composition is literally different. And when we add in exhaustion and identity shifts and getting older, right? Like turning 40, managing being postpartum and perimenopausal at the same time because we're having babies later, the pressure to bounce back is pretty intense. And it's no wonder that sex can feel awkward or even impossible when we're in that state. And I do want to acknowledge, like, some of us are low or high grade getting pressure and the side eye from our partner to lose the weight. And some of our partners still think we are sexy AF and they love our changing body and they love our scars and our stretch marks and all the evidence of the babies that we made with them. And so we can be in any one of these situations where we've got our own criticism doubled with our partners, tripled with societies, or we've just got our own in societies and we've got a partner who wishes we could see ourselves through their eyes, which more often than not, that's who I'm talking to these days. So if you are waiting to lose 10 pounds before you feel sexy again, I just want to gently, not so gently remind you that if waiting was the answer, it would have happened by now. And that waiting is like putting your joy on layaway and hoping that future you will finally, after enough time, catch in. And my question to you is, how much life, how much intimacy, how much play are you willing to miss out on in the meantime? And what is the cost to you and to your relationship for doing that? Sometimes I'm not sexy enough. I don't feel sexy. I'm too fat to have sex. Just going with the inner dialogue that plays here sometimes is something that we're hiding behind when there are deeper reasons that we don't want to have sex. Maybe the sex is not that great, or maybe there's trauma, maybe there's discomfort and emotions that arise, and maybe it's just really hard to stay present to the joy and pleasure that's happening in your body when you are spectatoring. I did a whole episode on this and I will link it in the show notes. When you are watching yourself from the corner, judging your butt jiggles and your belly and how you look and how you're moaning and what you're doing, right? You're not in the moment. You're over there in the corner watching yourself. And I think the reminder I want to give you here is, if you haven't heard of it, there's sort of the do it fat movement, right? Where people are going to the beach, fat, hiking, fat, playing with our kids, fat. And I want to encourage you to, yes, also have sex, fat. We want to learn how to be comfortable in our own skin and get to a place where we don't feel like we have to earn pleasure, right? Like sex is not a thing you earn because you are sexy enough. Sex is something your body was made to enjoy, no matter how big or small or sick or able it is. And the way to feeling sexy isn't by chasing some older version of your body. It's by actually having sexy fun times right now in the body that you have without forcing yourself, because we don't do forcing here, right? So I just want to be super real. I didn't wake up one day magically loving my body. I still struggle with it. Honestly, there are days when reaching for I'm sexy feels really hard. And, PMS and my cycle really play into that. I'd say in the first 2 weeks of my cycle, I feel great. And the first 2 weeks of my cycle, it doesn't matter what I do, or the last 2 weeks, I feel like I'm a whale. And the dysmorphia, which is mild compared to, I'm sure, what other people experience, really starts yelling. Like my body starts yelling a lot of things at me. And one of them is about my body. And one of the biggest shifts for me was not swinging from hating my body to full blown body positivity and having to love every inch. It was switching to something called body neutrality, where instead of looking in the mirror and trying to convince myself I'm so sexy and I'm so hot, I just say, hey there, hey body, I have a body. It's made for pleasure. I see you there, body. How you doing today, body? So it's just very neutral. I have a body. You do not have to force yourself to love yourself in that way. Sometimes that swing can be too hard. We can just start with presence, curiosity, and letting our body just be enough, just there as it is. And the other side really is if your partner says they think you're sexy, can we practice believing them, right? Can we practice letting it be true instead of dismissing every compliment? Because I have a tendency to do that. My partner tells me I'm sexy and I'm like, oh, just this old thing I threw on, or the defenses are up, instead of thanks, babe. I'm just going to pause and accept that love and let it come in. And while I am far from perfect, I will say that a couple of weeks ago, I was lying on the paddleboard and enjoying the sun, and I'm in a bathing suit. And that chunk of thigh, if you got a big booty like me that sticks out, that chunk of thigh with the fold when you kind of sit. I actually had a moment where I looked at it and I thought it was hot. I could see it through different lenses. Instead of being like, ugh, I was like, damn, that's hot. So we can have moments like this, and it starts with body neutrality. So I want to encourage you with love to let go of the when I lose 10 pounds fantasy. If I have $1 for every time someone said that to me, I'd be rich, okay? Sexy is a practice. It is not a destination. And so we're going to start with a couple things here. We're going to start with comfort. That means wearing clothes that fit. I have still not returned to my pre-baby weight. So I am 7 years postpartum from my first. I am 4 years postpartum from my second. And the numbers don't matter, but I didn't lose the baby weight in between. I was the most I ever weighed after my second baby because of an autoimmune disorder. And I did lose a chunk of that weight, but basically came back down to the baseline between babies. And I remember as I was returning to work with my youngest, I went through everything in my wardrobe, tried it all on. 99% of it didn't fit. And I probably could have held on to it a bit longer because I was dealing with an autoimmune disorder I didn't know that I had. And I'm a little sad of some of the clothes that I let go. But I also just had this moment of I am not going to have a closet full of old me's that I look at every day. I am going to go and buy a whole new wardrobe with whatever money I have. Thrifting is amazing. And I'm going to buy clothes that fit, that feel good, that make me feel relaxed, that make me radiate, and that feels, good on my body. And that can be tough. And I know hiring a stylist is not within everyone's realm of capability, but I highly encourage it. I recently had my colors done. I know it's all the rage right now. This is not my color if you're watching on YouTube. But I'm noticing how different I feel when I wear the right colors now. So, like, take the time to invest even in a couple of little pieces and just like get bigger jeans, get different jeans, enjoy the body that you're in now and dress the body that you're in now instead of berating it for not being the body that you don't want it to be. And this goes for everyone. The second is to build safety. So, communicating openly about our needs, our boundaries, our worries. I think what I mean here is just like getting vulnerable is important. Letting your partner know that inside voice, that criticism that's rolling, and allow them to support you with that. So one of the things that I think of when I'm spectatoring, right? If I'm lying there trying to make love to my partner and there's a little critic in the corner yelling all this stuff at me, is I can tell that critic to piss off and deliberately change it to cheerleading voice. You're so sexy, you're so hot, you're so whatever. Or I can recruit my partner to that. I could recruit my partner to a massage session with no expectation to sex after, where I ask my partner to touch every part of my body and give it love with energy and with kind words, and where I just practice receiving that. And that's a very vulnerable process, and it can bring up a lot of feels, but it can be intensely healing to have your partner hold you through that and to support you to allow the compliments to come in. Another option is to expand your definition, right? So, sex is not just intercourse, it's sexy, I guess, isn't just intercourse. It's laughter, eye contact, a flirty text, a slow dance in the kitchen. So we want to redefine what sexy is. Sexy does not have to be looking a certain way, being a certain weight, having no rolls when we sit. Sexy is an energy. And I think I did another episode previously about like embodying and reconnecting with your erotic self, which if I find it, I'll put it in the show notes as well, is like, what does make you feel sexy? I feel sexier when I'm naked. Some people don't, but I feel sexier when I'm naked. It's like there's less clothes putting restriction on me, or when I'm wearing like a big men's dress shirt and I'm naked underneath. Now, I don't always get to prance around my house naked. My kids are getting older, but I feel way sexier when I do that. And music is definitely a direct pathway to feeling sexy for me. If I put on the right music and allow myself to lose myself into it, I am there. So, how can you redefine what sexy is so you're not performing sexy? You just are yourself, which is the sexiest thing that you can do. And then the last piece I would say is that sometimes the answer is to have the sex, okay? Sometimes the best way to boost confidence is to lean into the pleasure, even if you don't feel ready, right? And one of the things we can do there is just a little bit of self talk, right? So if your partner makes a move and your default is like, I just don't feel sexy right now, then you could say, what if we allowed ourselves to get naked and present with our partner and see if that makes us feel sexy? And you create this kind of bull trail of what if, or you ask yourself, like, what would make me feel sexy right now? I don't know what it is, but like shaving my legs makes me feel sexy. Maybe you need to shave your legs and then see if you can get naked. But having sex can make you feel more sexy as long as we're not forcing ourselves, which is everything I teach you. Okay. If you need help with that, reach out. So, a couple practices here. The first is doing some body gratitude, right? One of my favorites is recruit all the senses here after a shower, after a bath, after you've shaved your legs, if that feels great for you. Choose the yummiest smelling lotion you've got. Take your time, give yourself a full body massage, and say whatever loving affirmations you can to your body. That can just be like, thank you for the beautiful babies. Thank you for, the strength to walk every day and like do all these amazing things. Thank you for being amazing. And it can be neutral, like, thank you for existing. Thank you for being here. The second one is practicing receiving compliments, right? So don't default to writing it off. Allow what your partner says to be true for them and just invite yourself to accept it and take it in and notice how it feels. Another one is just reconnecting with that erotic self, wearing things that make you feel sexy, listening to music that make you feel sexy, and playing with your partner in what feels sexy rather than what looks or performs or is sexy. So, my friends, in recap, I am not at the destination yet, but I can definitely say that looking at those upper thigh chunks, I have definitely like shifted my glasses. Okay. The like, I'm so ugly and fat glasses are coming off and it's shifting into a new place, even 4 years postpartum, right? And if you are feeling stuck, whether it is months or years after kids, I just want you to know you're not alone. It's so common. And I am here to remind you that you deserve pleasure and yumminess now, not 10 pounds from now. My invite to you today is to take the Solve Your Sex Drive quiz. In 3 quick minutes, you will find out the biggest blocker to your libido in the bedroom and if body image issues are it. It is going to take you to a free 20-minute guided practice you can do this week with your partner to rewire your brain so you can get out of, I don't feel sexy enough tonight, to, oh my God, that was so fantastic. Thank you for being here today. As always, I love to hear your comments and questions. If you've got things that you want me to cover, please let me know, and I will catch you next time.
This is the part where we do the end bit, right? My friends, let's take a mindfulness minute here. Take a deep breath in. Open that mouth and let out a big, deep, full body sigh. Voila. Your nervous system thanks you. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that your head and your heart have something new to consider, something new to talk about, and something new to try. No husbands were harmed in the making of this podcast, and a big thank you to my husband for his help and original music composition. Love you, babe. This podcast was recorded on the traditional territories of the Kwanlin First Nation and Tonquachan Council in Whitehorse, Yukon. We acknowledge and are grateful to the original stewards of this land where we get to play, live, and raise our children. You can catch me on the Instagram at the Happy V Project for tips, tools, and anecdotes. And you can also join the weekly-ish newsletter for dispatches from my bedroom and my brain. Catch you next time.